Because again, I was too lazy. I'm in here, I'm doing stuff. Start the video. Come on, where's Art? We know you're there, Art.
He might have signed in.
Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds. There he is. And let's see if Art has a problem today. I don't see a microphone for him, but I do see, there's a microphone.
Hello.
And it
Oh,
worked.
So you can hear me?
Yep.
Well, very good.
Turn you down a little. Oh,
Oh, am I too loud?
well, it's the TV. So it turns out last week I was actually updating
I'll
software.
go over to that side and turn the camera a little.
It turns out what?
Last week I actually had updated software on the
Really?
yeah, early this morning, I downloaded it again, and it said, you're already up to date. And I said, oh, okay. I don't know how that happened, but okay.
Well, it's interesting because I couldn't get the update as of early January to work. And the only way I was able to get it to work was to roll back to, there were two in December, and I rolled back to the first one in December.
Yeah.
So, at any rate,
I really don't know. It's a very bizarre.
I'm operating on the same version that I was operating on successfully last week. So I will
What
continue to do that until I want to take a chance. Yeah.
the weird thing is, I mean, we've done this with the desktop, so, and that was the same version, and it worked before. So who knows what Zoom does? Zoom is weird. Zoom has issues sometimes,
Okay.
but
So is Jim there?
no, still have not heard from Jim. Me and my dad just did drive past his house. I couldn't see any lights on. I couldn't really tell if anything was going on or not, so
Mm-hmm.
we're still kind of.
Well, I hope he's okay.
I hope that something didn't happen in that house, and his cats are eating him or something.
Well, it depends on how ripe he is, I guess.
Well, if something happened, it would have had to happen between both, him and Gail.
Well, it's interesting. There was I don't know if you ever read any of the Harry Bosch books. They also had a series of Harry Bosch movies on at any rate.
It's very,
So he had this assistant. Harry Bosch is a LAPD murder detective. So he had this assistant, and she got called out to some murder. Was some old lady was dead in her house and so forth and so on. And the cops were all stirred up about it. So she goes in takes a look around, says, see if there's a cat around here someplace. It turned out it wasn't a murder. The old lady had slipped and hit her head and killed herself getting out of the bathtub. And apparently the cat had been chewing on her for several days.
Yeah.
And so she diagnosed this as not a murder on the spot and said, yeah, look for a cat. And sure enough,
I hear cats are like that. They will turn on you if they get hungry and you're dead. They will eat you.
yeah.
Cats are like that.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, I was hoping, to know something, but I don't know anything. I still
okay.
don't know anything.
Well, let's hope he's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Steve has something to share here in a little bit, but I don't really have anything new. I haven't really worked on any new projects or anything. You got anything new, Mr. Barry?
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
I've spent most of the work week playing Everspace 2, so yeah, I'm guessing no.
What?
Everspace 2.
Everspace.
Never heard of it. What is Everspace 2?
It's kind of like a quasi sandboxy space game. I don't need to be in the camera.
You do. You're talking.
I'm always in the camera. I don't need to be in it. You guys are never in it.
Oh, well, okay. That's kind of true. If we move it far enough back, we all should be able to get in. Except Barry's going the other way.
Let's see how far the table goes. I bet I win. Your cord's short.
I want it short. And it's tangled. It's already tangled. I had that untangled. You set two cords next to each other and they have to
Wrap
tangle.
each other. Funny how that works.
Yeah. But
Well, maybe you need a second camera there, Leroy.
if I knew how to make Zoom do two cameras, I would do that.
With OBS.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
OBS can have multiple inputs and you can do picture in picture and
Well, if you
then
just had a
it appears as a camera to Zoom.
360 camera is all you need.
I had one of those too,
Or at 180. It's just 180.
but the
You
360
need someplace to hide.
the 360-degree camera. It's weird. It's got like a weird fisheye lens. And
It's real
it
wacky.
it's whacked out. It's like it's a weird panorama of, but it's like an inverted panorama. It's like an upside down panorama.
Well,
It's weird. It's just
Takes it
weird.
in upside down and backwards.
Probably ought to do that. Probably ought to try to set OBS up. I think I've still got that installed on this machine.
Yeah, I mean, it's
From
apt to install OBS.
I still have it. It's still installed. I probably ought to try to set that up.
I played with it for a little while. Got it to do things I wanted and then realized that's
OBS is how we used to stream live video to YouTube, and it worked really well for that. But then when we switched to Zoom, I didn't even think about using OBS.
yeah, it should work fine.
Yeah, I forget. Does it just auto present as a camera input?
Yeah, start it up. You should be able to select it as the input.
I'm going
There
to,
you go.
I'm going to turn the video off. I'm going to see if I can do this.
Well, start
Okay.
with this first.
Well, if I start at OBS first, then the camera I'm using won't show up. I'll have to make,
Until
I have,
you tell OBS to do something, it won't attach to the camera.
right. But
But you can't change what camera Zoom is using until
OBS
OBS presents.
But
one.
I can't put the UVC camera in the OBS while Zoom is using it.
Okay,
I'm going to turn the video off for a second. I'll be back.
Okay,
I'm almost positive that it,
yeah, only one thing can
and then
stick camera, nice.
both, and there they are. They're already there. Make you bigger, and we'll make me smaller and unproportioned. And we'll go, and it didn't show
Yeah,
up.
because you haven't started streaming.
Oh, you got a stream.
Or,
Record.
no.
Start
Right.
virtual camera. Start virtual camera. And now, there it is. OBS virtual camera, and turn the camera back on. Well, look at that.
okay.
You can title and everything.
I'm impressed.
I am impressed. That took all
That was easy.
of. I would go and say 30 seconds, but a minute. Yeah.
So obviously you have two different cameras there.
One's on the laptop,
Yeah,
the laptop camera, which is looking directly at me. And one's on the desk or on the table, looking out towards
The
everybody
microphone.
else.
And you can resize the OBS images and stuff. And do
I can,
virtual pan and tilt and all that too.
I can make me really tiny and make everybody else really big.
oh, you can adjust either of the cameras?
I don't know, am I getting bigger? Or did I?
Yeah, yeah.
Or I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit, because we're not.
Yeah, you need a stream.
Now, your camera, Leroy, is kind of
It is.
hidden behind.
Yeah, it's kind of cut
the other
off.
one.
So you can't bring that one forward and then cover up the desk.
You can
Okay.
right click on it.
Yeah, you gotta bring it forward, right? You know this software really well.
Order up
There it is. Move up.
to top.
There you go. There it is. Now,
So how do you determine which one is overlapping which one?
Share your screen and show.
OBS software.
um. I'm stressing this poor machine out. So. You right click here. And you can go to order. Wherever order went. And you can tell it to move up or move down, so I could. It's a layer,
Okay,
so I just push it to the back. And I could push this one. I could reorder this. I could do the same thing, see how it's highlighted in red. I
mhm.
can move it. I guess I could move it clear to the top, move it up or move it down a layer. But it's already there, so. OBS is pretty nice software.
It's amazing software.
Do what?
It's amazing
It,
software.
it's really nice. It's,
There are plugins available for it to make it do more stuff. But what it does just by itself is pretty cool.
you could do the titling, you can actually, have a video window where you could play a video and do an actual real, like scrolling title, and you can switch. So I've got, I've got 3 different scenes set up. I've got a TV scene, which is just a single camera. They're backwards. They're backwards.
Oopsies.
But
You can right click and fix that.
yeah, I can, I mean, on Zoom, you should be able to see that I am switching between 2 different cameras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I've got both scene, and then if I want to add a scene, I can add whatever scene I want and add devices to it over here on this side. It's really slick software, and you can do all that on the fly. So if we were doing a live stream and there was a robot out there and we had another camera, I could just on the fly add another camera to it. As long as we weren't using that camera for anything else.
You want an overhead camera?
We could do an overhead camera. We could
That would
do,
be useful.
yeah.
And it streams from the robot.
But I
while
didn't
driving around the
even
library.
think, I didn't even think about using, I mean, we've been doing Zoom for
A while.
a while, and Steve just use OBS. Didn't even think about it.
And get it pre-installed.
Didn't even think about it.
Think how much popularity we did if we were driving robots around outside.
That'd be cool.
You know, you're walking on this camera,
It would
it picks it up and runs off it.
And some-
Hey, I do actually have a big robot in the trunk of the car.
Do you?
My dad's charged up. It's been sitting for 2 years. Uncharged.
The hero?
No, it's the one that Mark.
Oh. Thing had pretty substantial batteries.
Yeah. And I did charge.
Yeah.
And they're lead acid too. They're probably.
I got a couple of solar panels and a charge controller and a battery. And it's a 20 amp hour lithium ion battery. It's the size of one of the little lawnmower batteries.
Yeah.
It weighs like 8 pounds. If that.
Yeah, I would much rather have had lithium ions on that thing than the lead acid. Lead acids are just big and heavy.
Big and heavy is useful sometimes. Keeps it from falling over and
Except, yeah, all of the 2 prototypes that we had didn't stand.
yeah.
I mean, having all that extra didn't make a whole lot of extra sense. I guess he was thinking that the lead acids would last longer, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
No, prototype.
Yeah.
You probably got
The,
50 bucks.
the,
Instead of 4.
I don't know, the one that I got in the cars was definitely the prototype that was the test bed to make sure what he was thinking was going to work. The other one, I think he was trying to lean more towards actual production. He did change the batteries, or they were a different set of batteries, but they were still lead acid. And it stood a little tiny bit taller than the other one, but. Wow, really, I mean. It also has two big caster wheels on it, so. I can't possibly see how this thing would fall up. It's got the hub board wheels on it,
Yeah,
and then two
That's very
big caster wheels on one on the front and one on the back. I mean, you'd have to be doing something really, hit a huge bump or something to have it.
well, I think part of it too is that you're looking at going up, we look at ramps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Wanting to be able to climb up curb slides.
Okay, these things have gotten cheaper.
What?
That what I've got is one of the lithium iron phosphates,
mhm.
and it was over $100. And they're the cheapest I'm seeing on here is $56.
Hmm. I've got. Yes, yes, Mr. Art?
Pardon?
I thought you were getting ready to say something.
Oh, I was actually. What is the name of the application that you're using to get the multiple screens?
It's called OBS.
OBS?
Yeah, I'll put it. I,
Open Broadcast Studio.
that's it for. It should be in the package management. For Debian.
So this is something you would install as an app on Linux?
Mm-hmm,
Or Windows?
yep, if you Google OBS or OBS Studio, there's a whole. I'll almost guarantee that the version that's in the package management manager is an old version,
Oh yeah, it's a year behind,
at least.
but it's
But it works.
stable and
But it works.
yeah. You can get in Mint or Ubuntu, you can install it as a flat pack and get the much newer version of it. But it may or may not work, and it takes up 400 megs. I hate flat packs.
Wow. I just started to install it and it looks like it's a couple of hundred packages here.
Yeah,
It does a lot of stuff. It kind of interfaces with all kinds of stuff. I mean, you know, you got your speakers, you got your video,
You bust the hard drive controller.
you can. It saves video on the fly and it can stream on the fly. It does a lot of stuff. And
A lot of kids make big money with it.
mhm.
a lot of people use it and don't make big money.
Yeah.
We were using it and nobody made any money.
There's a fancy keyboard called a Stream Deck that's almost designed for it. And you have, each key is a little LCD display, and you can assign functions to the keys, like turn on the left camera, turn on the right camera, fade from one camera to the other, and create layers. So you can have a layer of camera functions and a layer of subtitle functions and switch between them. It's kind of neat. It's a
It's like,
fancy
it's
toy,
like,
like a studio.
it's like a broadcast studio in a box.
Yeah.
It's a guy I watch, he's got kinds of effects
Yeah,
on his buttons that turn him into potato and
you get,
little liquid. It's hilarious.
You can run OBS on a Pi 4 with the official Raspberry Pi screen, using that as the, yeah,
Wow.
and it's pretty impressive.
I never really got far into,
Uh,
I knew, I know how to get around OBS much better than I know how to get around some other software.
Yeah.
But I never really got deep into it. It was, its minimal function served my purposes.
Yeah.
Excellently. Its very basic function served exactly what I needed. But I saw somebody who had, it was a Stream Deck and he had like a throttle controller
Mhm.
for
Fade.
fading, which reminded me of an old broadcaster.
Yeah.
I mean, you really want to get into it, there's a lot of stuff it can do.
The first fade was done, that stick controlled lighting, and there was a pane of glass in front of the camera at a 45-degree angle. So they were fading from this scene to this scene based on which one got lit. That was it. They didn't do it in the camera for like 25, 30 years.
But you can, what is that software? It's a graphics package. Not GIMP, it's the other.
Inkscape.
Inkscape. There's an Inkscape plugin for that, for OBS, and you
Nice.
can do all kinds of funky animations in Inkscape and then have OBS display them. One of the other, I don't think it's on this machine. Forget what it was called. There was, two video editors that I used all the time. I would take the video and run it through these video editors so that you could add even more effects to it if you wanted to.
I was never able to get that to work right. I tried, Shotcut.
Shotcut. That's the one I'm using now.
Yeah.
That one's a really good one. It's another one that if you take a deep dive into it, it does so much stuff. But I just, get what I was using before, OpenShot maybe. And I could not get it to blur out just a section of video, and Shotcut would. Shotcut. I just needed a little tiny section pixelated and
I think you can do that directly in OBS. You can
Well-
define a shape.
I wasn't using OBS though. I did a video on the camera. I recorded something and I just thought, kind of a public event, but I guess people don't really want to be recorded necessarily, so I was trying to block out all the people. OpenShot, it just wasn't doing, it wanted to pixelate everything, not just the people on.
Yeah.
Shotcut would let me pixelate just the people, and I'm like, okay, that's what I want. So I started using Shotcut because OpenShot wasn't working well. But I can tell though that this machine has gotten a tad bit sluggish with OBS and Zoom running together. This stuff is a little jittery.
It's got three screens of video output.
Yeah, and that's a Core 2 deal, isn't it?
Oh, it's an i5.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
you had another one real similar that was due, didn't you?
yeah.
What was it?
This one, I think, honestly, I think I'm probably need to wipe it out and reload it. It's been upgrades and upgrades and upgrades
Yeah.
and just on top of everything.
How much memory you got?
I was about ready to try to find out. Oh, what did I put on? Good something. That is not what I wanted to put on.
Choose how many threads it had.
Open the terminal, run INC. INC dash F. Now, IN X I space dash F.
Ah. Did I know about this one?
That's a weird dual core.
I think capital F gives you a whole bunch more information. There you go. And your Bluetooth is hooked up. Audio. Hardware got started by OBS. The battery's in good condition.
There's 4 cores. Actually, probably 2 cores with hyper-threading.
Yeah.
It I'm not even sure where this machine came from. I think
I have several of those. There's one sitting on my side of the couch on the floor. It's been there for like 3 months.
no idea where it came from.
Not a clue.
This one's saving grace is it's got an SSD drive, but it's an old SSD drive at this point.
I was gonna say, about 10 years older, but you're
I gotta,
It probably was 5 years old when I got it, and I've had it for a good 5 years. So, yeah, it's an old machine. And it's showing its age. It's
you got a 256, you can try, if you don't want to wipe that, you want to just swap drives, see it.
cloned over.
Yeah, it's a Samsung new.
This is a straight up SATA drive. It's it's not an M.2 or any.
Yeah, I doubt that is.
No, it's this thing is. I'll try whatever. I think it's only got 200.
And on your drive, I still have to come up with a way to test it.
No,
I'm just gonna get it back to
bring
you.
it back.
I apologize.
No, that's all right. I forgot to ask you about it last month or last week, so I don't know, whatever. I figured I don't have anything to plug it into right now anyway, so. I just wanted to make sure it worked before it got too old. I have trouble with trying to get it replaced and make sure it wasn't dead on arrival or something.
It doesn't look like, well, yeah, they're all pretty tapped out, aren't they? 60 plus %. It's only got 2 gigs of RAM. No, it's got 4 gigs of RAM.
Pretty tight.
Well, you need some RAM for it? You know what it takes?
I do not.
It's going to be DDR3.
You hope.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd make a big impact though, if you're only got a single chip in there.
And Inksy will tell you what it is.
Probably on that screen. Just gotta find the right. Cause I pulled my uncle's laptop apart Sunday night. Had 4 gigs of RAM, but it only had one chip in it.
Yep.
And I had matching chips,
You-
so I just put another one in with it.
Dash M or capital M.
Yeah, that's right.
That's- I'm gonna try lowercase m.
Fine.
Have a B or something. No. Oh, okay.
It-
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah, two gig chips.
the total capacity will be in 8 gigs. I could upgrade.
It'll give you more than that, though. I mean, it'll give chip serial numbers, everything.
There's some serial numbers. They didn't really tell me anything.
Oh, it's in your own.
Oh, yeah. It did. I see. Long time ago.
That, yeah, so that's the BIOS version date. That one, compared to 3 though, that's.
So I've got 100 gig hard drive in here. And I got 51 gigs left, so. Yeah, I'm using this thing pretty. I only use it here though.
Yeah.
It only gets used down here.
Good sturdy left. I had a different model of the HP, but it was good. So it even has a modem. In case you ever need to dial in somewhere.
Oh, good.
Makes
You
it
just-
a little older.
You just dated this thing even more.
What was the date on the BIOS?
2015.
Okay,
So it's in
at
here.
least that.
At least,
So say what was the model?
I don't know.
It was on the
Elite book.
840p.
I don't know.
Inksy has like 74 switches. And if you fill them all with that thing, it was like a 6-page report. It is a lot. I mean, down to what extra things you've added into app to open other repositories and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
like the PPAs and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Right?
It's, so you run that on a machine that you're about to reload, and then it's pretty easy to set it back up the same way. If you do a app get dash packages, it gives you a list of what's installed.
Yeah,
You can just reinstall.
I learned that from you. That was a pretty handy thing to, you know. There's a benchmarking software that it was designed for Windows, but it works with Linux. They have a Linux version, and it's kind of free.
Oh,
And
just graphics?
yeah, it showed all kinds of stuff, but you tell it to show you everything, and there's like 30 tabs that it puts up
Mhm.
on.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking of though.
It tells you,
Unity
Yeah, something like that. It tells you everything. You get root privilege and it'll tell you even more than you wanna know
Yeah.
about the machine and you're like, I don't wanna know that. I don't care. But you said tell me everything and then it runs some benchmarks and it'll give you a list, it'll tell you the model number and it'll give you a list of
what other people have gotten. Yeah,
or similar, like it'll go and it'll look, okay, it's a dual core, blah, 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 and it'll look at, you know, IBM dual
Mhm.
cores and it'll look at Lenovo dual cores
yeah,
or
I know
whatever.
what you're talking about.
And it'll tell you, it'll tell you where you're sitting at, you know, in comparison with everybody else on the similar level,
Yeah.
2 gigs RAM and whatever.
Here's a Raspberry Pi Zero, here's you, here's a AMD Threadripper.
Here, this is the Raspberry Pi. This is you. This is everybody else. There's something wrong with your computer. Go fix it.
I've gotten some pretty good numbers, some of these. The one I was trying to think of was Unigine Heaven, which just really tests graphics cards. And I was playing with that at the law firm because we had a couple of machines that I was able to play with.
This will test RAM. It'll test all kinds of stuff. I think if,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I can't think of what it's called. That was one of the best tools though, when we had the job. Cause it would tell you, you know, it would give you a starting point at least about where to look if there was a problem. And then you could print out a summary and attach it to the machine and go, okay, this is the summary, this is what we know, and this is.
Password?
That doesn't sound right.
Openbenchmark.org.
Bellarca,
Yeah, okay,
something like that.
LR, that's one I've used.
That thing will tell you everything.
In August of 2008.
So this is even older than we think.
If you get the serial number, you can get it down to when it came out of the old one.
I don't know if an HP, can you do that with HPs without all
There-
that?
There's the serial number right there.
And they can do that with Dell.
Yeah, that was one of the
HP
coolest things.
Purged all their data.
Yeah,
We were using,
Dell's database was awesome. You could
Yeah.
just type a number in and it would
Dell's
tell you
awesome.
everything.
yeah,
They're getting a little busy about it, so,
really,
yeah.
oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I forget what we were using pretty much inventory at the law firm, but it was sweet. Since everything there was Dell, it went out and got purchase dates for all of the desktop systems. And like, okay, what's older than 4 years? I also want to replace these. Monitors. You got the serial numbers for the monitors and the release, the sale date for monitors.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that this is even older than I think. So this is definitely something that I should look at.
Yeah,
2008 to 2009 model, so it's,
Yeah, but the firmware,
that's the last.
unless somebody has upgraded the firmware.
mhm. And they almost certainly did.
Yeah.
That came out of the company, and it did.
Yeah.
Somebody had the job of going around update firm.
I think it probably came from UC,
Oh.
from UC
Yeah.
Surplus.
Yeah, that's where I had one from.
I think that's where this came from, but I won't swear to it because I really don't know where this came from. I've had it for a while, that's all I know.
I'm just curious how,
Old, it's old.
DDR3 with SATA 2.
Yeah.
SB2.
The fact that it can be upgraded to 8 gigs, that's something. That probably would help.
Yeah, the money that it take to put that in it, unless you got it laying around. You probably get something 4 or 5 years newer.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I'll look through. Yeah.
Well, that's the sad thing, the CCC was still there, they were selling
Yeah,
like 5-year-old laptops for like $50. I'd have liked to gotten a stack of them if I knew they were gonna send them all to the scrapyard.
I inadvertently borrowed one. from the office. Yeah, I had it with me, and mom's laptop died. Here, use this for a while. And then I did.
I went to their website the other day, I guess they're open Wednesdays for 3 hours and Saturday mornings.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they? How many money?
Said that they would be, well, they were closed from Christmas till this week. So they reopened again on Wednesday, what was that, the 3rd or something, from like noon to 3.
Cincinnati,
Computer Cooperative.
you know,
I was just shocked to see.
all of a sudden,
Site was updated.
just gone. My brain said Cincinnati, you and right in my brain, went right out.
So I can't go there this weekend. We're going to Cavalcade Customs, but next weekend is the 3rd Saturday. Maybe I can get over there.
I don't know if I've ever actually been there. Do they actually have decent stuff down there? Or-
I don't know anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
Last time I was there, they had nothing because they sent everything to a scrap.
everything. That
Everything.
pile
A
of-
whole building.
see, that seems wrong.
Yeah, they had some neat stuff there.
Yeah, there wasn't a thing that I could see from the
I
door.
wish I had.
That's what I'm saying.
Commodore.
I wish, if I'd known that they were gonna do that, there was a few things I'd have probably gotten, and I definitely would have got probably the rest of either those laptops or those little micro 7060s or 7080s or whatever. I'd have taken the rest of it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I would have given them twice scrap if I could have just walked through for an hour beforehand.
yeah,
Easily.
yeah, they paired with some scrap companies, like Targins or something, he said. They came in and took everything, I mean, there were all those monitors, everything, I mean, the whole place was cleaned out. And so the only thing they were gonna do then was going to sell whole computers from now on. And that they have
No-
shipment
no
of like
parts.
Dell engineering machines coming in the next week or two that they were gonna put up on Marketplace. I've never seen anything come up on there, so
Hmm.
I haven't watched real hard. But they had a sign, or like I was just curious, I pulled up their website like last week. And it said that they were gonna be open, Christmas Eve? And they were gonna be closed until like
This week.
this Wednesday or whatever, yeah.
And
So
if you get up there, give me a call while you're there. Let me know what you're seeing. And
Yeah, well, I said, I don't
If anything at all.
have
Yeah.
plans to go anywhere, but I just, it was nice to see that they had an actual schedule posted,
Yeah.
cause last time I looked in, they were like, what in the world are you doing here? Like, well, I came to look around, but when I looked through the plastic things, man, there was nothing out there. I was like, where'd everything go? Cause I mean, that thing was just racked with monitors, I mean, it's just all gone.
I know, I mean, when we had the shop,
Then where they keep the good computers was all gone empty, and I mean, it was all, like, they just
Hmm.
trucked it all out, pitched everything.
when we had the shop, we would only scrap machines that didn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
take them down to the recycling.
Well, that's, I think part of their problem is they stopped recycling, I think, at some point. Because the amount of just gutted servers laying everywhere where they'd taken the RAM and the CPUs out and just left all the shells laying.
I mean,
That
yeah,
made no sense to me.
that stuff makes. I mean, we used to get decent money out of the scrap after we pulled all the good stuff out of it, but to get rid of everything, including stuff that might be good,
Yeah.
that just
They
seems
used to-
wrong.
They used to
Well.
fill up one of those 4 by 4 foot by 3 foot Aiden bins about 3 times a year with just memory. And that they kept separate because it had gold plated pins.
Well, we had, I mean, we would buy pallets full of machines and we would go through them and realize that out of 100 machines or 20 of them that have bad caps and it's not worth screwing with. You throw them in the scrap pile. You pull the CPUs, you pull the memory.
There is another kind of local place that you can get pretty decent prices on, especially if you're willing to show up and talk to people. Jesus.
Like around Moreland or something.
No, it's in northern Kentucky, the exit. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of marketplace postings for some dudes selling like 400 or 500 desktops out of Loveland. So I figured he's the technique that keeps getting up all the crap I try to buy.
Blair Technology Group.
Yeah.
They're in what used to be Johnny's Toys, the main building for Johnny's Toys. And it still has some of the Johnny's Toys stuff in it.
No,
Yeah, but one of the things Johnny's used to do is that the kids on their birthday, they give them a key to a treehouse thing.
Yeah.
Treehouse is still there.
you used to do that a lot.
Yeah,
I remember I loved doing that.
but I've gone there.
Don't remember ever getting anything from it.
That's,
Nothing worthwhile.
that's down where the recycler is too.
No,
Well, down in that area. That's where I look at my scrap computers. And the thing with it was if you separate it, you would pay for green boards or whatever, a different price. And if you took the stupid little metal clips off of the risers, he'd pay you money for just stupid, you put the clips in a box, he'd pay the box and give you,
The scrap for the clip.
yeah, for the stupid metal clips.
Yeah.
I
Well,
never quite understood that, but
The
basically,
metal scrapper, I mean, they were getting money for this metal scrap.
if you separated the stuff out and you didn't have to do the work,
You got better premium.
you could make twice as much. If he had to do any kind of work, he didn't want to pay you anything at all for that stuff.
Well, my dad,
So one day I'm sitting out there in his parking lot, just, okay, green board. Cause he was like, you come down here enough, I'm gonna tell you a secret. If you separate the stuff, I'll give you more money. Okay. I'll do it.
my dad worked for a scrap place and like, they're the wholesaler, they buy from the other computers that make quotas and stuff to ship out and they'll double their money off what they're buying off the scrap places. So if you, yeah, they'll take like a Gaylord. If you buy a Gaylord just boards, it's like $2,500.
really,
Yeah,
I could clean my garage.
I was shocked by some of the prices. Because there's gold in some of those boards and there's other stuff in some of those boards. And if you know what boards to look at, there's platinum in some of them and you
Yeah.
gotta know which ones are which.
There was there for a while, I mean, this has been, this has probably been 5 years now. At one point, there was some kind of program, they were wanting DX 486 DX2
Mhm.
and DX4 CPUs, they were paying $50 a pound, and they'd give you the gold back if you wanted.
Okay,
So I don't know what they wanted out of them, but they were paying $50 a pound, plus you got the gold back.
Probably the wires connecting the die to the leads. Those are either gold or platinum. And if we get the platinum, we'll give it back. The gold makes sense.
But I just thought it was odd that they, you know,
I,
what was it there that they're giving the gold back and paying like 3 times what the normal going price was at the time for
I-
CPUs? There was something there they wanted to add.
I had,
So there's like 4 chips to be a pound or something like
Yeah.
that. So
yeah, I had, uh.
but that's what seemed weird too, is because the golden 4 DDR or 486 chips was almost an ounce.
Really?
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had,
Hmm.
I had 4 or 5 or 6 Pentium Pros, and they had more gold in them than.
Yeah, Pentium Pro,
Like that.
the Pentium Pro 200s are 0.98 ounces.
I
of
took-
chip.
I took those down there to this scrap guy, just, we had no use for them. They
Yeah.
came out of an old machine, and I took them down there, and he gave me almost like $300 for them, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
this was all just junk to me.
that's a
I was up at an auction and,
$1,800 a pop right now.
yeah, I was up at an auction up in Dayton, and up on the very top shelf of one of these things, there was
Yeah.
stacks and stacks and stacks of 486 DX chips and Pentium Pro chips.
Huh.
Just stacks of them. And I think I went up to $3 grand on this shelf. Somebody else bought them, and then they threw the Pentium 4 chips away and the Pentium Pro chips away. And I dug them all out of the trash, and took them down to this guy and made a small fortune off those. I'm like, why
Money.
would you throw that crap away? I mean, why would you bid it up so far? Cause I didn't see anything else on the shelf that would have been worth anything.
Yeah, there's probably something there that they knew about and sold some to somebody.
Yeah, but see, I'm one of the kind of people that if I would have bought that shelf, I would have taken it all home. And then I would have looked it up and saw what it was I had.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing too. I never thought of like sending this stuff to another country. Cause it's not like we see what the prices of like some graphics cards are here. What they pay in Germany is absurd. So that buddy, what do we call him, British Mike, bought all those
Yeah,
oxygen, or what is it, the SGI oxygen 2s or whatever, the purple ones, little cube things. They got skids of those from UC. They pulled the video cards out there and sold them for $580 a pop to Germany.
For old SGI cards?
Yeah, just for the video card. I mean, it's been 30 years, but you know,
SGI was hot
but
back in the day.
yeah, in Europe they were huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And everybody wanted graphic workstations. They had computers, they just, the graphic cards couldn't be, were so high over there that, you know, they didn't buy them that way. With them, and this card was a fortune.
I'm the kind of person though, if I'm bidding that much money on a shelf full of junk, I'm going to take every bit of it. I'm not gonna throw it out right at the auction.
Well, I didn't know, you know, or want to waste the time with it, but didn't know that
Yeah,
was
but
worth
I
it.
mean, I didn't get the $3 grand, but I figured if somebody else is bidding, there's gotta be something else on the shelf that's worth it. I got like, I don't know, $1,500 for the stuff.
Yeah,
That's half of what I would paid for the shelf. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw money away. And I found it. I found the money they threw away.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah, the FBI box I have had a 96 meg video card.
You wanna show your board? Cause I don't think anybody else is coming.
No, doesn't look like it. So I've been getting into keyboards way too much lately. This is a Keychron V3.
Okay. Maybe. Let's put that to that. Let's see, that's better.
Oh. So Keychron V3 with, I've added aftermarket keycaps to it, but basically $70 keyboard.
Like an old typewriter now.
It does. I love old typewriters. Feels good. I really like those keycaps. That's a SA profile key.
Not bad. Feels like a freaking computer almost though.
Yes. When I picked it up, I was like, holy cow.
And they're hot swap socketed switches. So you can swap out individual switches. So it's a good thing.
So it got a battery in there to last it for like months.
No, it's not a wireless.
Oh, so you're based on the
USB-C.
weight.
No,
It was
it's got a steel plate that the
Oh.
switches are mounted to.
That switches for Windows and Mac. Okay.
Yep. It's
I
got
thought that was a
4
power
layers.
switch.
It's got 4 layers, and by default, if you've got it set for Mac, you're on layer 0, and you push the function button and you're on layer 1. And you can assign macros to a key, or like all of these adjust audio and eject the CD and that sort of stuff. If you're on PC, you're on layer 2, and you press this and you're on layer 4. And same thing. And you can remap any key. Like, I don't want function here. I want it on the pause key. So for me, because nothing uses pause, I have no idea why it exists. So, and I can hit that one with my left hand, the right hand, this one, the broken one.
That hand.
And yeah, and so now I've got a pile of macros set up, and you can set it up so that you bring it up to another layer, and now press that, and it toggles that the layer stays on, or you can do that and it toggles it to the Mac layer. Nothing on it is a set key. I can remap any key on it to be absolutely anything. So you can turn it into a what?
Steam Deck.
Well, yeah, a Steam Deck. Like Colmac layout, or there's another one that starts with a K, I think.
Or what KCDR or KCRD.
But I mean,
The Borg.
Dvorak,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. You can set it up as a Dvorak layout. You can do some really neat stuff with it. And it is extremely easy to program. There's basically a website, via.something or tryvia.something. You go there, Chrome pops up, do you want this to be able to see your keyboard? Yes. And now you can just go in and say, I want this key to
Magically becoming in.
an M, and
Or launch
yeah,
this app and load this page.
yep. Or to be
Multi-step.
a P, or to eject the tray, anything that there's a single key command for. So you can only do 10 macros per layer, which I think is kind of weird. Macros can be multi-key with timing events, and there's a programming language for macros. But
You only have 10.
Like-
For all the keys.
like there are 48 function keys defined in a keyboard layout. You can have function 24 do something and assign H to function 24. And that isn't a macro, that just takes one key. In Linux, I assume you can do this in Windows, you can say if I hit F24, do this thing. So you can kind of combine macros with the OS. And honestly, for under $70, it's nice keyboard. You can get it with 3 different keys, or 3 different switches. These are a different switch than what it came with. I made the mistake of ordering it from another company, not Keychron, without even looking it up to see what it cost on Keychron, because I figured this company that only deals with specific switches and Keychron keyboards wouldn't screw you over too bad. I should have bought it from Keychron, but very, very happy with it. These keycaps are SA Profile Coffee. Fun toys.
I like it.
Interesting.
I used to know why there was a pause.
Well, you could pause your media player.
It doesn't pause VLC.
It,
Because it's not media player.
These are Holy Llama tactical, or that's not the right word, tactile. Very neat. They're different than Cherry Browns. Cherry Browns are tactical, they have a bump, but these, when you press them down after the bump, the spring pressure increases quite a bit, which I like. Before they bottom out, I don't bottom out on this one, I'm typing on it.
yeah,
We're trying to find out what kind of key switches Marla likes, so I ordered a key tester that has like 40 different switches. Because I'm like, okay, do you like this? Or I've got a little tiny keyboard that's got some reds that are linear and they just, you don't know when you make, I need to feel when the letter makes. And she's like, I can't tell any difference. Okay, what about these blues that are clicking? Ding, ding. I don't see any difference.
that sounds like Patty. Keyboard's a keyboard.
Yeah,
No, I want a clicky keyboard. I bought a cheap keyboard because I don't want to spend a fortune, but I want a clicky keyboard.
I just want a keyboard with macro buttons. Yeah.
you said you like the Mac keyboard with
Yeah.
its kind of flat keys. That's kind of what comes on this.
Does it?
Yeah, they're definitely flatter than this. They're a Cherry OEM profile, which is rounded the other way, which I don't like. I center my finger in these, and I center between with the Cherry profile.
Flat keyboards.
Yeah, the old metal aluminum. It came with the what generation was that? First Intel. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of sort of has a Mac, small Mac keyboard look.
Bigger than that keyboard.
And I don't like typing on this keyboard.
Yeah.
Laptop keyboards are not meant to type on.
Nope.
They're meant to go.
Emergency use only. Well, I mean, when I do the Linux meeting, I'm taking a Nook. I haven't used a laptop for that for ages.
Yeah, if you really have to type on a notebook or a
Mhm.
laptop, a USB keyboard or a Bluetooth keyboard.
When we're out of town, gonna be at a hotel or something, I don't even take the Nook, I take a Pi.
Yeah.
I hook it up to the TV and I the keyboard with me. I kind of wish I had actually gotten the full-size keyboard case because there's room for the Pi and the power supply.
Yeah, so you could have built your own Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
500, 400, whatever that thing is,
What's it?
with a good key.
Instead of that thing that comes with it.
Yeah, that keyboard is another one that I like typing on it.
Mhm.
I'll type on it because
It's
you
there.
kind of have to. But if I were to, I actually, my tablet, I find myself SSHing into it more and more because I can't,
Yeah.
I just can't use the on-screen keyboard.
Yep.
I can use it if I have to, but God, I
I
hate,
I
I hate
I have
it.
a command line or two. But yeah, then something else.
But if I actually have to do any kind of real work,
The Dell I've got has a pretty decent keyboard as keyboards this thick go.
yeah,
I mean, it is slightly tactile.
I,
I can change the backplate color. That's
That-
fine.
that cheap Logitech keyboard that I bought. No, that's not a horrible keyboard, but it's not one that you wanna type on for ever either.
Yeah,
I like the clickies, I like the clicky keys.
I've got a couple Logitech A400s, but all in one small keyboard with a touchpad on one side.
Mhm.
Those are decent. No, I'm not gonna write a novel, but
You can type on it
At a
and be
hotel.
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
at a hotel it's okay, and I like that I can stick the receiver in the TV and
Yeah,
use it.
that's. Think the grandkid still pop on my other keyboard and we washed it. Really hot water, let it dry. And it just wasn't right. So I went, did the emergency thing, and ran down to Walmart and bought a Logitech keyboard for, I think it was $30.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't particularly like it, but it's not horrible.
I do not like wireless keyboards for anything I'm gonna use long term. I don't want to replace batteries. I don't like that it's radiating things that I don't know how well encrypted it is.
Oh,
So-
it's not.
It's, yeah,
I can guarantee you.
Some of them, actually, the Logitechs with the dongle with a little orange dot on them,
Yeah,
those are encrypted.
they,
I don't know.
no, they're all, just before COVID, there was the college, the last Cincinnati B-sides.
Mhm.
There was two college students that did their talk on hacking wireless keyboards.
Yeah,
And that was all about how much of that's just plain text
I know,
and, or hex code, it's not encrypted.
I know the Microsoft keyboards weren't encrypted.
Mhm.
And those were, you could pick those up with one of the SDA dongles, or SDR dongles.
there was that, whole thing about being able to read a screen.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago. That doesn't work with LCDs.
But
I think Logitech's like the only one to even tackle that as being an issue. But even that, it said you can take a drone and come in there and I mean, cause it's not running anything complicated for encryption. You can pop it, you get enough keys.
I never really thought about my keyboard being encrypted or not. I just never thought about it.
No, well,
But-
nobody ever, why would you think about it? Cause it's like, why would anybody be scanning for Bluetooth keyboard?
Well, mine's not a Bluetooth keyboard. Mine is an actual
But infrared.
thing, but, yeah, that's kind of,
At the law office, it was a thing I thought about a lot.
well, yeah.
And my boss just kept buying this thing. Like, don't do that, Mike. First off, now you're making us buy batteries every other month.
I don't. So the Logitech I bought was a wireless, and I've never replaced the battery in the keyboard, but I have gone through. I think I'm on my second battery replacement in the mouse. And I've had the keyboard over a year, so it's lasted a good long time.
Yeah, but we had 100 users in the building. And
Well, yeah.
he had like 50 of them with wireless keyboard.
And they're
I never
probably always
understood.
typing and doing other.
These are people that typed a lot. I mean, they were doing legal paperwork all day long. And they'd go, "Well, I want a wireless keyboard because Alice got one."
Yeah.
Why? Where are you moving the keyboard to? What? Are you being way back and the wire is not
Well,
long
right.
enough?
Yeah.
I just want like. Okay,
Looks cleaner on the desk.
I can understand why you would think about encryption in a law firm or something like,
yeah,
or a hospital or something like that, but. Yeah, I guess I just don't. I don't think about it. You know.
that said, that little K400. Works great with a TV and no, I don't want a wire. And
Yeah,
because I don't want to be as far from the TV.
yeah. I mean,
But on the desktop,
my thing was more. I've only got so many USB ports on this machine, it's an all-in-one, and I've only got so many USB ports. So if I buy a keyboard, that's gonna take up one, then I buy a mouse, that's gonna take up another, but if I buy the combination, I only take up one.
that's the thing I was thinking about with this. One of the things I don't like about it is the USB port up here. So that if you've got a straight cable, it sticks out.
Yeah,
This is neat. But I'm thinking about redoing this case and put a little USB hub that USB 2 does fine for it.
yeah,
So I can plug a mouse into this. And a little LCD display.
The irony of having my Apple keyboard, because it had a USB
Yeah.
plug on each side, plug the mouse into. But I had a Razer mouse with all that stupid RBG light crap, which is not enough power
coming off the keyboard.
to run the mouse.
Oh, wow, that surprises me.
Bullshit. But I didn't want the RBG lights anyway. I just wanted
Oh,
a 5-button mouse. It
But
doesn't
only-
care.
It doesn't care.
It says there's not enough power to supply to this device.
I came up with, I bought a microphone at an auction, paid $1 for it, and it was worth every bit of $1. But it said gaming microphone, so I was thinking, okay, I'll give this a shot, even though I knew better. Came up, you know why it's a gaming microphone? Because it's got RGB lights in it.
Do they pulse
Yeah, and they,
rhythm with sound?
no,
Oh,
no,
I
they
didn't
just,
even install software for that, but
no, there's no software. It's not even, you power it with USB,
Yeah.
but you plug it directly into the 3/4, 3/8
Oh, the-
socket.
oh,
It's not even a USB microphone, it is a
wired,
microphone.
yeah, old.
And it doesn't really care if you've got power going to it or not, it's about as weak as you possibly. Hello, can you hear me?
Terrible.
But
I know I was about,
I came up with, there was, the same auction had probably the cheapest mouse I've ever seen in my life, but they called it a gaming mouse, or it was called a gaming mouse. It had little RGBs in
yeah, so that red dragon.
it. You put, no, it wasn't even, it wasn't
Not
even,
that good.
it was, I don't even have anything close. It's the cheapest mouse you possibly could find.
My
With-
youngest kid,
I was gonna say, I have bought
RGBs.
Inland, my Micro Center for $3, so I mean,
This is probably was at least on par with the Inland $3 mice, but it had RGBs in it, so a hair better.
but did it work out
No,
of the box? at
well,
all?
no, I didn't buy it because I was like, God, that thing looks like, I mean, a gaming mouse would need 15 different buttons.
yeah,
I
my
mean,
middle kid has a gaming mouse that has a number pad under the thumb.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I touched it once. I was like, no.
yeah, I mean, a real gaming mouse would have 12, 15
Well, they got a lot of
buttons.
it.
It would be a keyboard and a mouse in the form of a mouse.
On the other side of that, my youngest kid has a gaming mouse that he paid $120 for, I think. That is a magnesium spiderweb shell. The thing weighs like 22 grams. It's an impressive mouse, and every time they go on sale, he buys 3 or 4 of them. And then the next day on eBay, they're going for $300.
So,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, he sells all but one. He keeps 2.
you got anything, Mr. Art?
Breaks it.
No, not right off the top of my head.
So I almost feel like we haven't really talked to you much.
Well,
We're
There's
just out here in our little world.
there's an echo for some reason.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not hearing it.
Might be picking up from the mic in your laptop as well.
Should.
OBS doesn't know to.
Oh, OBS, yeah, you're right. There we go. See,
Maybe.
is that better?
Is
Can
that
you hear
better?
us, Art?
No, I'm hearing the echo of my voice.
Oh, you're hearing an echo of your voice. I don't know how to help you with that.
Well, I just won't talk.
Somebody might. You never switched what mic we're using, so it may not come through OBS.
No, I should still be using the snowball on.
Well, but it stops Art from cutting out.
Speaker. I'm using the snowball on this, and it did actually stop our cutting out. So. I probably see. I think I need to go in and reconfigure OBS and just get rid of stuff. This setup was actually pretty easy. I think I need to get rid of. Yeah, I actually, it doesn't look like I've got any audio devices set up in my sources.
No,
So this may actually be set up. This may actually be set up correctly anyway. I'll play with it. I'll play with it some more.
Ray, when he coming?
I thought he said he was.
And I don't know where Vicente is. I haven't talked to him this week either.
Hmm.
Don't know. Yeah, I thought Ray was going to come if he was in town. I think Ray's another one that he never really knows where he's going to be from one minute to the next.
I don't see how he doesn't just pass out. Dude's got more energy than anybody I've ever met.
Keeps that business going. I mean,
There was a thing on today, something talking about a mutant gene or something about people that can operate normally on like 4 to 6 hours of sleep. And I know, like my mom, she'll go to, bed at like midnight sometimes and wake up at 2 and be, drink her pot of coffee and go ahead and do the day. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Well, I can get 10 hours of sleep and I'm dead all day. Yeah, so I'm thinking I got the opposite gene. Keep burning up all my energy.
The problem is that if you sleep too long, you're tired.
Yeah.
And if you gotta get just the right amount for you. But if you sleep 10 hours, then you're gonna be tired the rest of the day.
Oh no, usually when I do 10 hours, I do okay, cause I'm usually probably catching up and staying up all damn night and.
So I will go to bed 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 sometimes. Wake up about 5, 6, make sure Patty gets off to work, make sure the kid gets to school, go back home and sleep for another 4 hours. My sleep schedule is very interrupted.
Dave does that too, and him, he gets up and studies particle crap or time at 2 in the morning until 4 or 5, and then goes back to bed and gets back up at 11.
Problem with
Cracks me up.
the problem with me, with the way I do it is I'm sleeping during the day a lot, so I don't have time to actually sit and do stuff that I should be doing. So my sleep, but I gotta make sure Pat gets to work. And I gotta make sure the kid gets to school. And I can't sleep at night because I just can't. It's-
Oh,
Turn your electric off.
I, the electric is a problem.
I figured you playing on computers.
No, that's not the problem.
That's what I do on that one.
Patty, she actually told me last night we turned the heat off before we went to bed. And she said, "Oh, I got the best sleep ever." She can only go to sleep if the heat's on. I can only sleep if the heat's off. So of course I turn it off during the day so I can actually sleep. And she has it on all night and I'm just laying there going, I'm rusty, turn off the heat.
You're in that scenario where you need your own bedroom. Air conditioning for you, heater for them. Air for them.
there was a,
And she insists that even though, the heat's on and everything, it's cold, so she insists on having 2 blankets. And because I throw one of the blankets off, she insists that she's going to put it back on me, so I have heat coming from the heater and 2 blankets, so I'm just extra hot, so I'm just laying there going. But I usually do, I get a couple of hours of sleep during the night. But most of my sleep happens during the day. And it kind of sucks because during the day I should be doing other things.
there was a depressing period of my life where I found out that I can easily sleep 22 hours a day.
Easily.
It's okay if you do it once in a while. But if you do it for 6 months, that's bad.
Let's see that. I know.
They call that like a sleeping sickness, right?
I want to try the penguin approach where they sleep for 4 seconds at a time or something and then take 1,000 naps a day.
I can do that.
Wait,
One of the best things about the army, I learned how to just fall asleep.
false.
We'd be on a hike and they'd say, okay, everybody 5-minute break, smoke if you got them, and I just lay down sleep. and hoped that somebody would wake me up when they started moving again, because if nobody actually called my name or didn't call my name or touch me, I was not waking up.
That's good. You'll start to take care of that.
Yeah, they get really upset. They gotta come back a quarter mile to get you.
What are you doing sleeping? Why are you sleeping? You should be marching, march more. You don't get a break next time, buddy.
You're only missed for 5 miles.
And while you're at it, put this extra 100-pound pack on your back.
I got that.
I never understood my cousin, littlest guy in the unit, and he carried the mortar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his pack weighed 40 pounds heavier than he did.
Our littlest guy is
Made a man out of it.
Oh my God.
parrot or something. And I remember we were using the practice grenades. He's like, oh, can't aim a shit. Parrot, run down there. He had us throwing cast iron baseballs at parrot. Oh, he had a steel pot on, but we were trying to hit him and he was quick. No idea why.
Didn't want to get hit.
The days when they could get away with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had another guy, could not march. I mean, just couldn't. But with a rifle, he was incredible. I mean, I always got good scores in marksmanship. He always got perfect scores every time, no matter what. He hit every target and he hit as close to the bullseye as you could measure. And so when it came time for our closing ceremony marches and stuff, they lent him to another company that had a good marcher who marched with us in his spot. Well, Parrot went out and got to play with a rifle again.
That's
Not Parrot. It was, I don't remember.
yeah, they want you to be nice and precision when you're marching.
Yeah, because that's gonna be such a tactical advantage when somebody's shooting at you.
I never quite understood why, I was in the Navy.
Mhm.
Never quite understood why I had to march. But we marched everywhere.
Oh,
Basic was all marching, and I'm like, this kind of doesn't make sense. Aren't we on a boat? Aren't we on a ship somewhere? Aren't we out to sea? Where are we marching out to sea?
Well, there you just marching. The boat moves.
It's all part of that. They break you down and then they rebuild you, and then they break you down and then rebuild you.
discipline and control over yourself.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. It's a mental game. Basic training is a mental game. And if you realize that it's a game, then you can survive pretty fast. But
I had one drill.
I saw plenty people that didn't realize it was a game and watch out quickly.
I had one drill sergeant who he had the big stiff brim hat.
Oh, yeah.
Hat in the bridge of your nose. And I laughed at him. That didn't go well.
So our sergeants, our guys in nowhere in the Navy do they wear those kind of hats except at boot camp.
Oh, yeah.
It's a boot camp thing. And he had a big old medal on his uniform that said he was Master Chief of Pain or something. I don't know. Okay. Like I said, it's a game. I saw him out. I got transferred down to Norfolk. And he had apparently done his time up there, and he got transferred down to Norfolk, and I saw nicest guy in the world.
Yep.
I mean, he was just the most chilled, laid back guy I had ever seen. I'm like, you are not the same guy that put me through hell.
Sure he was. Just you guys didn't get to meet him on boot camp.
He was one of those kind of guys that you want to go and hang out with.
Yep. Yeah, one of my drills I ran into later, we went out, got beer, he was pretty great guy.
Pretty chill.
There's a retired Marine drill sergeant. And he's the 45 years or something crazy in. He, like after he was retired for about 5 years, you'd never know.
Yeah. Well,
He's awesome. He's cracking up on. He takes one or the other getting on with us out at lunch about every day. I've run into him at different times here and there over the years. We've had lunch with him a couple times way back before the other diners so we used to go to, but that just it's funny to see them together. Neither one of them had anybody. He didn't have a wife or anything, so then they just, you know, got together and they go to lunch every day, I guess, just
Yeah.
about. Yeah. But I'd be shocked if he didn't move in with him, because the other guy was pretty rough.
my
He didn't know him.
my instructor, he said he did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. So if you're on a boat and you're successful at your job, then he did his job. That's all he was supposed to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's just a job to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're okay guys.
Some of
They're just
them.
buttholes when you're in boot camp. Yeah, boot camp is nothing like getting to the real Navy. But once you're in the real Navy, it's completely different.
Every time I moved in the military, I liked where I had just come from.
Yeah,
Basic training was a blast after I was at AIT, Advanced Individual Training. AIT was fun once I hit permanent party.
yeah.
Every station, yeah, every station was like, why am I here? I had more fun before. Now I gotta do more stuff.
Responsibilities went up and you had to learn something new.
There was there was the boot camp, and then there was. You're not in boot camp, but you're in A school, so you still have to do some discipline stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's still teaching thing. And then you get out and you go to your boat and everybody goes, you learn anything? Yeah. Okay, forget all that and
Here's
this
what
is,
it
this is how it works. Okay.
For me, AIT, I went to basic training in June. I went to AIT the week before Thanksgiving. And we weren't allowed to leave to go home for Thanksgiving. They also didn't bring in any new classes from Thanksgiving till after Christmas, and the last class in was the one that had to police everything and pick up cigarette butts, which always ticked me off. And I was a squad leader, and our squad's song, because every unit had one, was FUCKED, and everybody was singing chorus because we had to go police the area again. Oh,
They did that
For
to my
months.
nephew. They accelerated, like he missed his graduation to go to boot camp,
hmm,
right? To wait 3 weeks for the rest of the kid, the other students to graduate to come to start their boot camp class.
yeah,
I was like, why? you know, and then he did that same thing with his AIT or whatever training, he went for fire school. He got there 6 weeks before the other class,
Ooh.
for the class to actually start. So that's all they did for 6 weeks, is they had to, and of course it was during COVID, so they weren't allowed to go anywhere, they had to stay in their barracks.
Right.
And they got like 1 hour a day, and they had to go out and pick up cigarette butts.
Yeah,
One of my nieces went
For
went
6
through
weeks.
her boot during COVID and got COVID 3 times. They finally discharged her because she got COVID too many times.
really.
No.
So when I went through induction in Covington, they used to, whatever, I don't remember where, but they stuck us in a hotel and they had rented one of the halls, and that's where they were giving everybody shots and everything.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they gave me. Before I went in the army, I was seriously allergic to poison ivy. I'm starting to get allergic to it again.
Yeah.
I wasn't sick for 15 years. I felt great. I wish I could get that shot again.
Whatever
They
that
gave-
shot
they
was,
gave me
yeah.
about 8 shots on both sides. We had to walk between a bunch of nurses in our underwear. And yeah, and the last station after we got the shots was the check for the hernia. Like, if I got a hernia at this point, you're still taking me in.
Our shots didn't happen until we got to boot camp, but my boot camp was Great Lakes. Not the fun time of Great Lakes, it was freaking winter at Great Mistakes. So, and my A school was at Groton, Connecticut, also during
Oh, yeah.
winterish times.
My nephew,
Both of those places just.
my nephew's AIT was Fort Leonard and,
Oh, Lost in the Woods, Missouri.
yeah, you're outside of Uranus, Missouri, as a firefighter in June and July.
Ooh,
I think they do that crap on purpose.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, let's wear 100 pounds of fire gear and fight fires and climb, 4-story staircases in 110-degree heat.
And Leonard was humid. I was in New Jersey in June, July, and August. And we called it the sandbox. It was just a soft, silty sand everywhere. Walking that, oh.
Groton wasn't horrible, but it was nothing but fog all the time. And you rarely saw sunlight. It was fog. Just fog.
Yeah.
It was always damp, dark, and depressing.
Well, in winter, yeah.
It was. We because I was on R&D boat, we were actually in Groton more than we were in Norfolk. So they actually finally transferred the entire boat to Groton. But even during the summer, it was miserable. It was foggy and it was miserable.
Where's that?
Groton, Connecticut is
Right across the bay from New London.
yeah, I was gonna say it's New London, but if he doesn't know, he might not know where New London is either.
Yeah, not.
Only like 30 miles wide there anyway, isn't it?
There's like a little. There's an inlet
Yeah.
that goes up
Such a big name for such a tiny state.
Groton and New London sit right next to each other. New London is the shipport, that's where they build the submarines, and Groton is a huge submarine port and a school for submarines. So And it's just, it's always miserable. I mean, it's foggy
So,
and it's just damp and dreary and it's just,
so
Norfolk was beautiful most of the time. I mean, you know, yeah,
Really?
oh yeah,
Okay, that was not my impression.
Norfolk. I mean, you go out to Virginia Beach. And
Yeah,
Virginia Beach, a beautiful area. It was sunny and nice unless there was a hurricane that I stood top somewhere.
when I was traveling around states. I was working in Virginia and Virginia Beach. And we were building houses on the beach up on stilts. This is, yeah. Stilts, layer, like 3-story house that's 4 stories tall. And outrageously expensive, and there's no way they can be insured. I wonder, I went back later just to see how many of them are gone. And they were just nice new shiny ones, just like this. Built in place.
you see the ones that are in the panhandle of Florida. The guy spent the extra 10% or whatever and had it, they've all done steel.
Oh, nice.
And the hurricane came through and he was the only one left on the beach.
It was bent a little bit.
No, he didn't say it had no damage on it, but the like 15 houses on each side of him were gone.
Yeah.
And it's worth the extra 10%.
See, I never had a problem with Norfolk or Virginia Beach or that whole area. I thought out of all the places they could have said that was a good spot to go. Yeah, I mean, when the weather got bad, it got bad, but you know, it wasn't dark and dreary and miserable the whole entire time you were there. So,
My AMT was at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And I liked that.
yeah.
I mean, after there was a class behind us that could pick up the cigarette butts. But yeah, we were going to DC every other weekend. It was fun.
Ah,
It was about that time.
it is about that time. We are virtual next week. So we will know something next week, maybe.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I really don't know. But I think I'm gonna have to start collecting everybody's email addresses so that we can at least get a meeting.
You can collect them off the last email Jim sent.
Yeah.
Because Jim didn't do pieces.
Okay. Yeah, anyway. I think we're gonna call it. We'll see everybody next week.
It's good.
Good luck.
Yeah, that is getting pretty laggy.
It's really laggy, yeah.